Okay, so in PC Building Simulator today, what I'm going to be doing is finishing building this PC, which I've already started on a bit, but I'm going to have to do some modifications. Then I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna add water cooling, and then I'm gonna do, I'm gonna overclock it. So what I'm doing first is just unplugging everything because I'm not planning on using black cables. I'm planning on using green cables. So that's why I'm unplugging everything. So yeah. so first thing I'm gonna do is just put in a single 4 terabyte piece of storage. So I have some storage, but not much. Then unplug everything. Oops. Unplug. Unplug. So I have no cables. Okay, so next I'm gonna get thermal paste. I'm gonna put it on my my chip. Okay, now I'm gonna go custom water cooling, CPU blocks. I'm gonna get the this one because it looks like it has color. Okay, then reservoir, going for the biggest one. Unplug that. Okay, and then radiators. I'm gonna get the biggest radiator. I'm gonna stick it in the front, so I'm gonna remove the dust filter. So I have space to put that radiator. So radiator, put in. That is not centered. I will not accept that. So unplug. So this was just going to cool the CPU, but then I'm going to have to get another one for it. Which one looks more centered? I might have to go for just a slightly lower one, so I can fit two. No. So, ooh, I'm just going to put it up here. Okay. Plug that cable. Okay, then piping. Colors I'm going to go for is black pipes. Then I'm going to go for green coolant. So what I'm doing first is just putting in all my piping. Like this. Oops. It's very sensitive. Okay, so cables. Good. Then coolant, green. We're going to go for green UV coolant. Wait, it's not powered, so what I'm going to go first is green. So let's see. Green and white cables. So which is what I'm going to go for. So plugging everything in. Oops, don't want to plug power it on. I want to connect the case. Then connect my HDD to power the reservoir. Then connect the fan hub. So okay, now I'm gonna go custom water cooling. Coolant to green. Green UV coolant. Looks very nice. So then I'm gonna put in all the case parts, not keys. So put my PSU shroud. Put my PCA covers. So just putting everything in. Okay, so it's ready to run. So I'm just gonna close all the panels. So, so okay, so now this PC works fine. So I'm going to install a USB drive into it, power it on. Looks very nice. The colors aren't nice enough, so I'm just going to install lighting, OCCT, GPU tuner, 3D Mark, system info, and will it run? Then I'll restart, and then when that turns on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the BIOS, RAM-LC, turn on the XMP, then just go apply changes and restart. So this is the first overclock I'm going to do. Then lighting, because this isn't good enough for me, so I'm going to select all the lights, and I'm going to go for a nice light green. Apply. So now, as you see, green. I'm actually gonna, but instead of static, oh, apparently it's all static. So it's a green. That's also static. So that's also static. 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 So everything's green, which is good. Mm. Oh, so it might have broke. That was a glitch. I've never seen that happen before. Oh, it might be someone do that. See, hope this computer. Okay, so this computer might be glitched. I'm gonna quickly check this PC because that shouldn't happen. Oh, this has a broken CPU. Oh well. So this one works. So it's probably an issue on this PC. So I'm gonna delete, hold delete, settings, and factory reset it. I've never seen that issue before. No. So I'm gonna remove lighting and restart. If this doesn't work, I'll have to. But first, I'm gonna enter the BIOS. RAM-LC, enable XMP, apply changes and restart. Yes, so this is an issue, so I'm gonna quickly go to the main menu and back into free build. See if that fixes it. Okay, and it's fixed itself. So add remark program. So add a USB. Add lighting. Check my XMP. Make sure that my XMP is on by holding delete. I guess I'm just gonna power and power it back on. And lighting. So So I'm gonna add a breathing effect to all of them. That looks really nice. So GPU tuner and this. So OCCT, it lets me see what's happening to my PC. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna boost it a little bit by a time to like 150 first. So it also needs some voltage. So I'm gonna give it 10% voltage and move this up to 150. So let's see, it goes up. Yeah, so what I'm worried is what is gonna happen is that I'm overheating. So I am I turned it off. I'm gonna go to case fans. I'm gonna look for a 120? No, a 100 CFM. So 120, 100. What is the most CFM I can get? More CFM is better, by the way. 104, 104, 104. Oh yeah, I should fit this PC to significantly shorten my list of pieces. So 104 looks like the max. 128. Is there anything better than 128? By the looks of it, no. So I'm gonna get my 128s and see where I can fit them. Oh, so what I need to do is remove the dust filter from the top. So I can install a few. How many can I fit? Two, then three. Okay, good. So PC parts, dust filter. But so what I've done now is that my PC will now be significantly cooler when I go to a CCT GPU. As you see, I'm getting around 50 now and 60. So I'm gonna go up to 200, and then I'm gonna experiment. 200 on both, so that should give me around 10% better specs. Ooh, yeah. So 11 on everything. So 3D Mark, run. Okay, so by the FPS, it being stable like that means that my CPU isn't overheating, which is very good. So now I'm worried about not my GPU. Yeah, my graphics cards. I hope they don't overheat. If they overheat, I'll know that's an issue through the error. But I'll like a unique error I'll get for it overheating. So I'm getting the U display drive. I forgot which one that is. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna open a tab, and I'm gonna just search how to fix BDOS. No, BOSD. PC Building Simulator. So BSOD, it stands for Blue Screen of Death. So the U display drive means that the thermal limit has been exceeded. So what it wants me to do is increase the case cooling. So what I'm going to go here, power, case fans, 120 CF. Where's the 120s? What are the Cryorg? Oh, So the issue is I hit a max. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna empty this loop, pull out these cables, unplug my radiator. I'm gonna go for a two fan radiator, custom radiator. So a two fan one which has a high CFM, so 110, 130, 110, 110, 130, 120. So 130 is the highest, but colors significantly lose color. So I'm just gonna go for a this because I like my colors. So Triorg. No, it doesn't work. So I'm forced to. So I have the max fans and everything. So I just need to significantly get a better. Like, I need to sacrifice a little bit of speed. So typing, connect every pipe again, then loop it with my green UV loop, my coolant, green UV coolant. Okay, excuse me, close please. Okay, so PC parts, dust, it's ready to boot. So GPU tuner. So what I'm gonna do is I'll have to sacrifice a little bit. So I'm gonna go to 150. Significantly cooler. 3D Mark, run. Stable to begin with. So now we gotta wait for the second test where it's like where I'm worried about because every single time it's been going very poorly. 160 FPS and it's crashed. So attempt to reset display driver and recover from timeout failed. So attempt. So insignificant voltage that means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the voltage up to maximum. So max voltage, CCT. Everything looks fine, good. And run that. So after the CPU test, we're going to see if my GPU will work or that I still don't have enough voltage. If it doesn't have enough voltage, I'll have to reduce the other things again. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. You display.grv, which means, so I look it up, you dis thermal limited max. So what that means is that I'm overheating. So I will have to decrease my no GPU tuner. I'll decrease it to 125. I'm doing like big general numbers right now because like I don't know exactly like how much I can do safely. So bigger general numbers will let me get like more of a range. So apply that and run. it will give me more of a range so I can see if it like works. If it doesn't work, like I can like decrease, and then like once I get to a spot where it works, I can slowly increase and then see if it works. So while we wait for the CPU test, uh, let's just hope that it works and admire this really nice computer. Because I'm too afraid to look. Yep, so still doesn't work. GPU tuner, and let's go to 100. Apply in 3D Market. After the GPU, I'm gonna have to do something far worse, which is CPU overclocking. And if you mess up on CPU overclocking, you'll have to replace your entire CPU. And may I remind you just that to get to the CPU, I'll have to remove all those cables, remove the CPU block, and then get to the CPU. So, well, the CPU works fine, 150 FPS, and hasn't crashed yet. Hasn't crashed yet. This is a very good sign that it's not crashing, because it doesn't crash later, I think. This is very good. 140 FPS. So I'm just gonna let this run to see my 3D mark score to see if I can improve anywhere. I'm aiming for at least 15,000 on 3D mark, which I wouldn't be surprised if this PC can already get. 21,351. So now I know that it works, and I'm gonna boost it up to 110. Apply. That is a very nice score. Way higher than I expected. Run again. And now I'm just trying to get the exact numbers of till when it doesn't work. Like I want to get like even one extra 3D Mark score would be amazing. This PC has a 21,351. Very high score. Better than my first PC I built in this game, which is only a 12,000. But it's not overclocked, by the way. So 159 FPS, and it's working great. So the FPS was boosted by 3. So my score before was, as you remember, 21,351. So after this, let's see what I get from 21,351 to a 21,499. Okay, so this is good. So I'm gonna boost it to 20. Now it's just about numbers. The more you can get, the the faster it goes. But like, there's a limit on how fast you can go because as you see, this PC it had the maximum amount of um faces, case fans and fans be allowed to be built in. So I just hope that it's enough. So we know 125 was too high, but 100 see. No, 120 is too high. So let's try 117. We're gonna push it to like the limit. Apply. Run. And then after I overclock my GPU, I'll try and overclock my CPU so I can get a better score on the first test, as you can see right here, as it only gets 40 FPS. Hmm. This PC, by the way, is made with like all the best parts. Like, I didn't spare any expense. Let's see. Moment of truth. 100 and blue screen of death. So GPU tuner, drop it down by 1. Like, I'm pushing it to the limit, as you can see. Only 159 FPS and a blue screen of death. But this is all I'm doing. I'm gonna decrease the core clock only now, but not the memory clock. Wait, no. Let's do both. Well, the PC does its thing. We can admire it even more. And then I'll adjust the coloring on my own time. But look at that. Amazing PC. Okay, here's the chance. 160 FPS and a blue screen of death. So GPU tuner and drop it down by 1 each. But that's good. It took super long to blue screen of death, meaning I'm getting really close to where it goes. After this test, I'm gonna, like, if it doesn't crash, I'll increase 1. This CPU test really annoys me, but 158 and blue screen of death. It is overheating.
That's nice. You put thermal paste?
Yeah, I put it in thermal paste. I'm overclocking it, but like
All the way up.
I'm attempting to overclock my GPU.
I'm trying to.
Oh, how many frames have you gotten?
Huh?
How many frames have you gotten on the GPU test?
157.
I got 160.
Oh, I'm gonna end the video.